Happy day, my dear students. Welcome you for the video session of EduStar. In our business studies class, today we are going to learn chapter 6, staffing. In the series of the classes, we are looking about the functions of the management. Like we are working out with the postcard. We have learned about what is planning, organization. In the continuation to that, today we are going to learn about staffing. So we should know first what is the meaning of staffing. The foundation of any business, whether it can be with a hard work persons or with a highly skilled and talented person, whoever it may be, they have to have some form in that. In that form, there are certain persons to support to them. They are in the need of some supporting staff to them, right? So the adequate staffing or the provision of the appropriate human resource is an essential requirement for any organizational success. Once again, I'll repeat, the adequate and appropriate of human resource is an essential requirement for any organization success. So, it is believed that an organization can achieve its objectives only it has a right persons in the right position. So, that is called staffing. The term staffing is concerned with the not only that is appointing a right person. It has some series of action with that. That is, the term staffing is concerned with the recruitment, selection, placement, training, growth, and development of all the members of the organization. So, in a nutshell, we can say placing the right person on the right job at the right time is called as staffing. Because to choose a person who is able to excel in a particular work or who is able to complete that work has to be appointed on time in that position. Then only we can take our organization in a positive goal. So it is very important placing the right person on the right job at the right time. This is the term called staffing. So now you understand staffing is not just only choosing the person. It has a series of work, like we have to recruit the person. We have to select which job is suitable for him. We have to place that particular person in that department. We have to give some training if it is required, and it has to be growth not only for the individual person, completely throughout the organization. Then only the staffing is a good one. Why we have to go with the proper staffing? We said that it is a series of function: recruitment, selection, we have to give training, and finally it has to take the positive way to the organization. So if we do our staffing in a proper manner, it will give so much benefits to our organization. So the proper staffing ensures helps in discovering and obtaining competent personnel for various jobs. That is, we can have a skilled person for the right job, right person for the right job. And it makes for higher performance. That is, if you place the right person in the right position, automatically the skill of the employee will raise. He or she may specialized in that area, and the output from their work will definitely going to help the organization's growth. So it will give the high performance, and it ensures the continuous survival and growth of an organization through the successive planning for managers. So if we choose the right person at the right place, then automatically we will progressive in a profit way. So it will give a continuous growth for our organization, and it helps to ensure optimum utilization of the human resources. That is, by avoiding overmanning, that is unnecessary overcrowding of staff in the organization will be avoided, because we have to choose the right person for the right job. Only the required number, everything has, if it is they can, with the limited number of resources we can yield a good profit, then it is advisable to go with that particular type of selection process, right? So by avoiding over manpower, it prevents underutilization of personnel and high labor cost. At the same time, it avoids disruption of work by indicating in advance the shortage of the personnels. And finally, it improves the job satisfaction and morale of the employees through the objective assessment and fair reward for their contribution, because we are going to have only limited number of personnels. So if they worked hard, and their work should be rewarded in the final it has to be rewarded. So it will give some job satisfaction, and they all have a mindset that they have to do better in the upcoming days also. So it directly and indirectly going to help the organization to serve better. Staffing is closely linked to the organizing since after the structure and position have been decided, people are required to work in these positions. So, subsequently, they need to be trained, they need to be motivated, they need to be given a clear picture about the goals, what they are working for. So, staffing is seen as a generic function of human resources. Human resources involves procuring, developing, maintaining, and appraising a competent and satisfied workforce to achieve the goals of the organization effectively and efficiently. So human resources is enable every human being working in the organization to make his best possible contribution. So it has a long process. It involves procuring, it has to identify the person, it has to develop that skill of that person, and it has to be maintained. The sharpness of the skill to be maintained, and proper performance appraisal should be given, and a satisfied workforce all together to achieve the organization goals effectively. And this human resources have a large history behind it. See, in the chart, what you are seeing on your line is you have having some number line and the organizational scope. See, in the beginning, that is in 1890s to 1913, in the very olden days, that is in the 19th and 20th century, this is called, this human resources is called as welfare officer. This welfare means only they will take care of the labors. If it is a factory, only the production labors will come under this welfare officer. Then 1914 to 1939, it is termed as labor manager. So whatever the issues faced by the laborers, they have to report to them. Then in 1945 to 1979, it is called as personal management. That is, it not only take care of the laborers, the above step of laborers, somewhat creamy level employees, and the top portion of the low level management. In the low level management itself, we have three layers: the creamy level, the next level, the last is the labor level, right? So it will work for the complete sector, that personal management. In 1980s to 1990, it is called as human resource management. So it will start to work, and in the 1980s to 90, even we can say 1995 also, it is identified as human resource management, that is HRM. Human resource management means they will start to work in favor of organization to identifying a staff, right from office assistant to steno or manager, even sometimes the top level management, whoever it is, it can be required and suitable according to the organizational needs. It can be worked. And from 1995 onwards till date, it is called as human capital. It is like how we are investing the amount is a capital. Generally in accounts, we used to say that what is the capital amount we have invested, right? Likewise, this is called now human capital. So human capital includes everyone in the organization irrespective of their designation of the employment. It is from the all the officers to the laborers. It will cover in the human capital, because everybody's work is required to run an organization in a profitable way. So this is the evaluation of human resource department, like right from welfare office to human capital. So after this long history, what are all the duties will be discharged by this human resource management? The very first one is they will recruitment. The first one is recruitment. That is, they will search for a qualified people. See, in my organization, I required a factory manager. Who has to complete he or she should be having some experience. See, if I'm having a garment manufacturing unit, I need a person in my flow production manager. So he or she has to have a previous experience in such a field, or they have to be qualified based on the garments. So many criteria was with me. So my HR department will look with the same criteria, whether the details of the those who are applied is matching with this. They will took those persons for a recruitment. Then it will go for analyzing job. That is collection of information about job to prepare job descriptions. So if I'm going to announce for nearly around 10 to 15 vacancies in my company, So my human resource department will get the what are all the required from the management, how that person. There are certain management will say even if the freshers they can apply. Some people very stick on to that, even if they don't have enough such qualification, if they are having a possessing minimum of 5 to 10 years experience in the same one, they can apply. So likewise, some of the ads you might have seen, right? So they will analyze what is the requirement by the management, what are all the jobs, opportunity, careers are there in the concern. They will prepare a list of that. Then developing package plan. Then they will develop a package plan, means here nothing but salary and those other benefits. If it is a marketing department or a sales department, what is their perks with them? What is the incentive given by the organization to them? Everything will be planned there. And the next one is training and development. Actually, training and development is a very, very important key factor for all the organization. If you are keep on using a knife for a long time, what will happen? In the new knife, it will be very sharp. After keep on using, sometimes the sharpener might have reduced, right? There will be no sharpness. Sometimes it is reduced. Sometimes there is no sharpness at all. Even it won't cut a banana. At the time, what we have to do? We have to sharpen that knife to work, use it again. Likewise, our human resources also require some sort of training and development. It can be a new industrial policy, or it can be a new machinery, whatever it may be. Like it can be a machinery based one or a soft skill. There are certain type of a training and development. It also has to be fixed by the human resource department. And maintaining relation even with the public, top management to middle management to labor, from labor to top management, like a public relationship officer, PRO. You might have heard that, right? The particular person is responsible to answer all the queries, whatever is fair, surrounding that particular organization. So this HR management should work like a, they have to maintain a good rapport with the society, labor, people, and the organization. And the next one is welfare of employees, a very, very important one. When the HR evaluation, we said that in the beginning it was a welfare officer, then it is personal. Everything is concentrated on the low level management. That is, they are focusing more with the laborers, because if it is any production, if it is involved with the machinery, whatever it may be, the risk of the job is higher when compared to other department. They have to take care of the welfare of the employees in a uh, proper way. They have to give a social security to the employees. And the last one is they have to uh, handle the grievances properly, because there may be some difference of opinion. If it is a maximum more number of people there, it is automatically raises with some grievances. Like we have already seen in the organization, a formal organization will develop a informal structure inside that. So we said that it will spread the rumors so quickly, right? There must be some grievances will be there. There will be a report from an employee to their immediate superior. There must be a complaint from low level management to the middle level management. There will be a complaint. Everything should be faced by the HR management, and they have to tackle that. They have to satisfy everyone. They have to really look into the problem, where the problem raises, how to solve that problem in a proper manner. Everything comes under the duties of HR management. So HR management, like we can say, it is a function of the complete human body. Like if it has to work as a somewhat brain function, how control and coordination is there in our body. Likewise, sometimes the HR management should act like that. They have to recruit, they have to analyze the job opens, they have to develop a package plan, they have to give training and development of their existing employee or the new recruitings, and they have to maintain the relationship socially and employment within the organization. They have to take care of the welfare of employees, and they have to handle the grievances raised by the employees in a proper manner. Now we will look into the staffing process, because this lesson we are going to talk only about staffing, how this staffing process is doing. Staffing is what we said in the beginning, that is, we have to place the right person on the right place at the right time. So it is one of the most important managerial function which helps in obtaining and fulfilling various positions in the organization with most suitable and capable person. The staffing is the process of recruiting employees who are eligible for certain positions in a company. Okay. All this is grouped together only, we call the staffing process. This process has happened with the some few steps has to be followed to achieve this proper staffing. See on the screen, you are seeing the process of staffing. It is starting with the estimation of manpower, recruitment, selection, introduction and placement, training and development, appraisal, promotion, and compensation. See, this process of staffing is a cyclic one. It goes on and on and on. So, we will now discuss about one by one of the process of staffing. The first one is manpower requirement. Manpower requirement is what? We have to measure the quantitatively and qualitatively what is the required number of working person in our organization. What is the labor force required for an organization to run? So, the planning process itself, this manpower requirement, if I'm planning for a new project, I have to choose that. I need, see, if I'm a software company, I'm having some new project. I need a one quality control person, two a pair of testing person I required. So two in that department. I need 5 coding persons. So likewise, I have some number of persons to be recruited there. It has to be given. It involves and it creates the job opportunity, and it evaluates the manpower inventory, as well as in developing the required talents among the employees selected for process of promotion and advancement. This manpower requirement, it is not necessary to look always a new employee into an organization. Sometimes the person who is working in a labor is having a very good skill, quick decision making, able to solve the problems quickly, can given a chance of raising from his position to somewhat higher position, from labor to super foreman of that floor, and supervisor of that floor, supervisor to somewhat in charge of that particular team. So it is requirement can be identified sometimes in inside that organization also. About that we will discuss in future also. The next one is recruitment. We know that recruitment is a process of searching for prospective employees and simulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. So it stands for the finding sources where the employees will be selected, whether from outside or inside. The next one is selection. Selection is the process is identifying the right person by eliminating the unwanted one, right? So the purpose of the selection process is to determine whether the candidate is suitable for employment in our organization or not. So the main aim of the process of selection is selecting the right candidates to fill various positions in the organization. A well-planned selection procedure is of utmost importance, because this is the key one where we are going to, which person we are going to choose, where we are going to place him, what type of skill he is already possessing, and what type of training we have to give for him. So everything should be very crystal clear. So this is a well-planned selection, means it will be making the organization to run with the employee in a smooth manner. The next one is placement. So it is nothing but putting the person on the right job for which he is selected. So it includes the introduction of the employee to his job. He has to follow certain types of some in-plant training with his immediate superior or with his colleagues. He or she asked you to observe for a week what they are doing, what is their nature of the job. They have to feel comfortable to settle in their nature of job. All comes under this type called placement. The next one is training and development. After selection of employee, the important part of the program is to provide the training for the new employee. Sometimes it can be done with the informal method by just asking he or she to move along with his or her colleagues to observe what is the nature of the job. But sometimes if it is a new technological change, if you are placing yourself in a software concern where the particular platform you are not aware how to work, at that time the company will provide you a good training. It will make you to work on the particular platform without any trouble, right? So now with the technological changes, the need for the training of the employees is increased to the keep the employees in touch with various new developments. So after this training will help them to develop themselves. A sound staffing policy provides the introduction of a system of planned promotion in every organization. If employees are not at all having suitable opportunities for their development and promotion, they get frustrated, which affect their work. Not only it will, the frustration will affect their work and their growth. Sometimes indirectly it will affect the growth of the organization. So it is understood that the development has to be given. The promotion is always should be focused with the within the employees. Then only we have to go for a, if it is not there, then only we have to go for the outsourcing. So we have to first check whether in our employees who is fit for that new vacancy what we have created, or who is suitable for promotion of the next level. So this will help them to work with a happy mind with their job satisfaction. Also it will help the organization to achieve better. The next one is promotions. This is what we have discussed for all the points. The process of promotion implies that upgradation of the employee to a higher post. Not only the post, sometimes salary, designation, some opportunity given by the he or she may be introduced with some of the opportunities provided by the organization, and so many things. Generally, the promotion is linked in increment in wages, incentives, but it is not essential that always it should relate to the part of an organization. The next one is compensation. Compensation is nothing but what is the individual gain in return for the contribution to the organization. So it is nothing but, in a simple term we can say, it refers the all forms of pay or rewards going to the employees called compensation. Children, with this we are winding up today's topic. Today we have learnt about what is staffing, what are all the benefits of a good staffing, and we have learnt about what is HR, the evaluation, the history behind human resource management, and we discussed about the process in staffing. Kindly go through all these topics in your NCERT textbook. We are learning chapter 6, staffing, and do your as usual homework assigned to you is prepare MCQ in this topic. Catch you in the next part of the chapter. Thank you, children. Stay home, stay safe.